Hey everyone, so some of you guys may know that I went to see the New Moon preview last night, and I'm gonna be posting up my opinions. I'm sorry there might be some spoilers in this for those of you who haven't seen it or are about to see it tonight. And if you guys don't want to hear any spoilers, I suggest that you don't watch this until you watch the actual movie. But if you don't want to be surprised or if you just don't care, keep watching. Okay, so this is my opinion on New Moon, Twilight Saga, New Moon.
This hole in my chest has been getting the best of my life.
Some bad stuff about New Moon, apparently, that I was disappointed about. It was kind of predictable. This may have been because I read the book first, or probably because I waited too long for the movie. But the thing is, it's kind of too predictable, and everything went by too fast. I mean, like the part where Bella comes with the bikes, okay? And they didn't really build up to it. Like the part where Jacob was building the bikes, they didn't mention the rabbit at all that I can catch. But I'm gonna see it again so I can catch on these things. The part where Mike threw up, the part where Jacob turns into a wolf, and everything went by way too fast. I couldn't see Jacob and Bella's relationship building whatsoever. Like with Twilight. This may have been because they have a guy director this time instead of a girl. But I'm pretty sure, like, I didn't see it building. In Twilight, you see Bella and Edward's relationship slowly building, and you'll actually get caught up like, aw. But with New Moon, the movie, it went by way too fast. Like, she brings the bikes, they talk to Will and Embry, next thing you know they're best friends, and they barely spent any time together. Obviously you can tell they did, but I didn't feel anything whatsoever for their relationship. Probably because in the book you do, because you're reading everything word for word, but not in the movie. I'm sorry, but I didn't feel it. And I know that if they actually went by the book, it would have been like an 8-hour movie, but it's actually like 2 hours, maybe not even. I was pretty much talking through the whole movie to my sister because she kept asking questions. I had to answer them. I can never watch Twilight without talking. I'm serious. You only see Billy once in the whole movie. In Twilight, you see him like at least twice. And he has only a few lines. But you only see Billy once in the whole movie, and that's the part where Bella knocks on the door asking for Jake because, you know, she figured out he was a werewolf, and then he's like, he's not here. That's pretty much his only line. Meanwhile, in the book, he was there like almost all the time. I have a lot of negative stuff over here. I didn't feel anything when Edward broke up with Bella. I thought I would be like bawling my eyes out. Like when I read the book, I wasn't. I cried like once, but that's it. But in the movie, I didn't feel anything. Probably because I knew what was gonna happen. But I don't know if it's Robert Pattinson's acting or his ugliness. No offense to you, Rob fans. I understood how Bella felt, but I didn't feel any urge for crying. I felt like I should have, but I didn't. Jacob's house. You only see it for like 1 second, which was when Billy talked. When he said he's not here, she went around and opened Jacob's room. You only see his kitchen for like 2 seconds, maybe not even. But apparently his garage turned out crappier than I thought it would have been. But it's bigger. I have to admit that. I was also trying to figure out why Edward tried to provoke the Volturi in his pajamas. I understand. It was late at night when Edward called. But he's in his pajamas! I mean, what's with that? I understand. You would try to provoke the Volturi in your pajamas because it's late at night, but apparently not in Italy. Probably nighttime doesn't mean anything to vampires, but to the rest of us, it does. So, kind of, maybe Alice should have fixed them up a bit. That's what I think. You don't see Edward's history in the movie, and I was kind of upset about that. You see the part where Carlo is giving Bella stitches. He doesn't explain her history, or Edward's history. Like, I wanted to see Robert Pattinson with green eyes, and I wanted to see his mother. I wanted to see that stuff, but apparently they couldn't put that in because it's not that important. But they did say something about Bella's soul, so that was good. Well, they kind of did say something like that in Twilight, but they didn't say anything about him having green eyes or anything. And I mean, in Breaking Dawn, if she's like, I imagine Edward Jacob with green eyes, some kid who I imagine him. Well, where'd you get the green eye thing from? Oh yeah, another thing, something that really disturbed me was that they were filling in parts that weren't mentioned in Twilight. Like Jasper's power. They did not mention that in Twilight. Remember when he said, when Edward said, no, it's just me, but Alice can see the future. He didn't mention Jasper whatsoever. But then in the movie New Moon, then Bella's like, Jasper, no fair, with the emotion thing. And then Jasper's like, sorry, Bella, or something like that. I know that they don't mention like the Cullen crest or anything like that, or like the crest or whatever they have for Sam's pack. But the thing is, what's going to happen in Breaking Dawn when Jacob leaves the pack, or when Seth does, or when Leah does? I was always thinking he'd probably color it in or something, you know, rainbows and puppies and stuff like that. But yeah, I guess we're gonna have to see in Breaking Dawn when it gets split into 2 movies. Some good things about this movie. It was hilarious. I laughed through the whole movie. I'm serious. And that's pretty much one of the reasons why I like Jacob, because he's a funny character. An example. Instead of seeing Romeo and Juliet in Bella's house, they see it in class. And so what's funny is that you see Jessica crying, you see Angela crying, you see Mike trying to hold in tears, and you see Eric, who's like bawling. The part where Mike started throwing up, then Jacob's like, what a marshmallow. I know he said that in the book, but I was laughing. I had to laugh at that part. One thing that I found good was the dramatic scene between Jacob and Bella. The part where Jacob like broke up with her, and like I listened to the audiobook the night before, and I was trying not to cry because I love Jacob, as you know. And the thing is, Jacob hurts Bella, and he promised that he wouldn't. So that was emotional for me. It was dramatic, and I was going to cry in the theater. I was planning on it, but I didn't, apparently. But it was still dramatic. I liked it. Well, it kind of was funny in the beginning because it's raining, and you see he's like this. Obviously, he's shirtless. And what's funny in that scene is that the first thing that Bella says to Jacob when she sees him like walking off into the woods, she's like, hey, Jacob, you cut your hair and you got a tattoo? Another good thing I found was that Jacob tried to kiss Bella twice in the movie, which was in the car and by the kitchen. And the top lips did touch, if you haven't. Apparently, Edward calls right there and then. Yeah. Another good thing about New Moon. Emily is pretty. Like, she wasn't quite as pretty as I imagined her to be, but she was still pretty. She looked like she suited the part. They had the scars on her face. That was good. Personally, one of my favorite parts about New Moon was the part where Sam and Emily started making out in front of everyone. That always made me laugh. Okay. Yeah, so that's everything I have to say for New Moon. On a scale from, for 5 stars, from 1 to 5, 5 being the best, 1 being the worst, I would have to say, since it wasn't quite accurate to the book, but apparently that's probably because I read the book first and it was very predictable. Maybe a 3.5 or a 4 or 3, around that range. It wasn't quite the best movie ever, but it was close. Let me know if you agree, disagree, what you thought of the movie. What was your favorite part, your least favorite part? What did you think about having a guy director directing New Moon? And do you think it's going to be good having a new male director for Eclipse? Or you think that it should be a girl again, like it did in Twilight? And let me know. This is my review on New Moon.
I started